I had another video planned for today. That one's going to get pushed back one more day because I feel like this is at the utmost importance right now. So, I mentioned in the video that was supposed to be for today that every once in a while I'll go back and I'll redo some 7 round team mock drafts after I'm done with the series itself, after I'm done with all 32 teams. So, I am done with all 32 teams. I had a Chicago Bears 2.0 mock draft scheduled. That is getting pushed back until tomorrow for the most part because the Buffalo Bills traded Stefon Diggs to the Houston Texans. Now, I feel like this has so many more implications and ramifications that we once would think of in terms of what the Buffalo Bills are going to do in this draft. So, I only did my Buffalo Bills mock drafts. I believe it was like 2 or 3 weeks ago, something like that. So, we're going to hop back over here to the video itself. 3,000 views 2 weeks ago. Thank you guys so much. I really, really appreciate that. So if we take a look at the picks, we had 34. We traded out of the first round, actually. We got number 34, 41, 68, 144, 160, 189, 200, and 204. Tyler Nubin, Troy Franklin, Marshawn Nealon were the first 3 guys off the board. I thought this was a really awesome draft class, to be honest with you. Now, what I'm thinking about, with Stefon Diggs gone, Brandon Beane seems like this was a calculated move because there's, for no reason whatsoever, would a team move granted, Stefon Diggs might have lost a step at this point. Still a number 1 wide receiver in the NFL, in my opinion. There's no reason why a team would move on from a player and eat $30+ million of dead cap just to get this guy off the team, considering that they already lost Gabe Davis and now Khalil Shakur is their number 1 wide receiver on the depth chart with Curtis Samuel and Mac Hollins on either side of him. There's no reason why this would be a thing unless A, he really, really, really was a locker room cancer and he was really stirring up a lot of controversy, or B, it was just time for him to go and Beane has a plan in place. I do believe he has a plan in place, and I believe that that is trading up for a premium wide receiver. I'm not talking about, don't get me wrong, I think Xavier Legette is a great player. I think Brian Thomas Jr. is an awesome player. I'm talking about one of the top 3 guys. Obviously, it's not going to be Marvin Harrison Jr., but I'm looking at someone like Malik Neighbors. I'm looking at someone like Odunze. This is going to be a massive trade up. It's going to depend on how the board falls up until those, really primary guys, those teams that are really looking to trade down. So right away in my head, the 2 teams that I'm thinking about, number 9, the Chicago Bears, only have 4 picks in the entire draft, 1, 9, 75, and 122, and the Denver Broncos, who only hold 2 top 100 picks as well. And that's a team that might be looking to trade down and acquire future assets. So I'm going to try and get this deal done without giving up a first-round pick next year. We do have 2 second-round picks now next year, so I'm thinking maybe a bunch of later-on picks in this draft and a couple day 2 picks next year might get a trade done depending on who the trade partner is. So we're going to jump right into it, and we're going to see what I can come up with. I was able to move up from 28 all the way to number 9. This was painstaking. I can't even tell you how long this is actually taking me to get a deal done. I'm gonna say it's taken about 15 minutes for me to get a deal done with the Chicago Bears. So unfortunately, with the amount of picks it was going to take for next year to get this deal done, I figured it would be better, to be quite honest with you, to hold on to the day 2 picks and give up the first round pick. So we did give up a lot. So what we were able to acquire in this year's draft was the 9th overall pick and the 75th overall pick. So I feel a little bit better about that. We gave up a first next year. We gave up number 28, 60, 121, and 144. So the Bears are pretty much set. They got a few mid-round picks back that they were looking for, and they also got a first-round pick next year. I think I had to throw in a 4th or a 5th round pick next year to get the deal done. So I tried to do this deal without giving up the first round pick so many different times. I even tried to give up both 2nd round picks for next year, and it didn't go through. They really wanted that first round pick. So I did give it to them. Unfortunately, it is a massive move up. This is one of the bigger trade ups I've ever done. What a massive trade up that we probably have only seen once or twice for the most part. I feel like, what was it? A couple of years ago, the Lions moved up from, 31 overall or 32 overall all the way to number 12, something like that. That was the biggest trade up I saw in a really long time. They traded up with the Minnesota Vikings. Someone fact check me on that. I could be wrong, but this is a massive deal. We're getting Rome Odunze with this pick here. This is exactly what I wanted. If you guys want to take a look at how the top 8 picks shook out, Caleb Williams, Drake May, Marvin Harrison Jr., Malik Neighbors was a big surprise there. Oh, wait, no, it wasn't. Marvin Harrison Jr. went before him. Jaden Daniels, Joe Alt, JJ McCarthy. So I figured that would be a perfect time to pounce because one of the next players that were going to be off the board, we're going to be Dallas Turner or Rome Odunze, and then the Jets obviously wouldn't want to trade with us. So this is a little sweet. We trade up, we go past a division rival that probably would have taken a hard look at Rome Odunze, and we decide to get him here. Really no explanation here. I think Rome Odunze, in my opinion, on my board, is probably closer to the second best wide receiver than he is to the third. I just love all of his intangibles, his side, his overall his ability to win down the field, his late hands. That's something that you really don't see in wide receivers too often nowadays. He's a fantastic all-around player, and I think that this is an instant win for the Buffalo Bills to pair Josh Allen with a receiver that he's going to have for quite some time. So Rome Odunze is going to be the pick at number 9. It did cost a lot to get him, but I think it's going to be well worth it. All right, so we're sitting here at number 75, and somehow Braden Fisk is still on the board here. There's a couple areas that I'd like to attack first and foremost, to be quite honest with you. It's just, unfortunately, going from having 28 and 60 to 9 and 75, it is a little bit of a difference here. We also gave up 128, I want to say. Oh, we gave up 128 and 144. Oh boy, I forgot about that. Okay, so we did give up a few more picks than I initially thought, but we still have a lot of mid-round picks in some good areas too. So 75, I'm going to address defensive line here. So Daquan Jones, Ed Oliver, really, really formidable. But behind them, I feel like it's really barren, to be quite honest with you. And Braden Fisk just seems like someone that would be an absolute game wrecker in a defensive line rotation for the Buffalo Bills. I know it might be a luxury pick and a luxury pick that we really don't have, but he's the best player that's on the board currently right now at number 75. And there are a couple players that I'm looking at in different areas like safety, like center. I'm looking at a little bit later, a little bit more down the board here at 133 and 160. So I think we'll be able to find someone around there. So I'm going to take Braden Fisk here. 6'6", 290 pounds, really, really athletic, super tenacious player, is a really good pass rusher on the interior as well. I feel like that's something that the Buffalo Bills kind of lack. With Ed Oliver having a good season last year, I feel like he hasn't been exactly what they thought he'd be when they drafted him, but he's still a fantastic player nonetheless. I feel like Braden Fisk would add a little bit more juice to the interior of that defensive line. So we're going to go with Braden Fisk here at number 75. At 133, we're going to go to the defensive backfield here, and we are going to take Caden Oladapo, safety out of Oregon State. I know that the Buffalo Bills do have relative interest in him. He was scheduled for a top 30 visit with them. This is someone that I feel like kind of gets lost in the shuffle. This is a really good safety class this year, and Oladapo is someone that has some of the best size out of any safety in the class. 6'2", 211 pounds, really, really good downhill run-stopping box type of safety. You know, he's not going to be necessarily that ball hawk that you're looking for per se, but he is a fine safety that's going to come down and make plays at the line of scrimmage. He also can cover as well. It's just because he's not necessarily a ball hawk. He's good coverage skills as well. This is a player that I really like in the mid-rounds here, and I know he's listed at 151, but he is the top safety that's left on the board. I did have a couple other players in mind at number 133, but when I saw that, you know, I just have to pull the trigger here regardless of what the big board says. So Oladapo is going to be our pick at number 133. All right, at 160, I'm going to take a shot here on Zach Zinter, guard out of Michigan. What I really love about Zinter is, first off, he's coming off of a leg break, unfortunately, this past season, which kind of shot his draft stock for the most part. But we've seen this happen with other players as well, pretty much of his last year. I don't remember. Oh, Andrew Voorhees was the player's name. That was a guy that was projected to go round 2, maybe round 3. Ended up going round 7 because he tore his ACL at the combine. Still actually performed in the bench press, which is crazy because I think he actually had the most bench press reps out of any offensive lineman too, with a torn ACL. That was after he tore his ACL. He still performed in that drill. But I like Zinter a lot. 6'5", 309 pounds, offers a lot of versatility on the interior of the offensive line. This is someone that with Connor McGovern coming and playing center maybe for a year or two, you could have Zinter as your starting center of the future or a quality backup guard to David Edwards or Osiris Torrance. This is a player that I really like. He offers a lot of versatility. There were a couple centers here. I love Hunter Norzad. I think this is a player that could be here in this range, and Bo Limmer, of course, but I really, really don't think that Bo Limmer is going to be here on the board at 160, hence why I did not pick him, like Drake Nugent as well. But I love what Zinter has to offer. A lot of raw potential considering that he didn't really get to apply his craft on the All-Star circuit this year. But I like Zinter as kind of like a low risk, high reward type of draft pick here. So we're going to take him at 160. 163 here, we're going to take a shot on Xavier Thomas, edge rusher out of Clemson. Now, one thing that I love about Xavier Thomas is he might be one of the most technically sound pass rushers off the edge in the entire class. So he's not going to blow you away necessarily with his athletics. He's not going to blow you away necessarily with his stature as well. 6'2", 245 pounds, but he is a really good athlete. He sets the edge very well. He's a good run defender. He's relentless when it comes to rushing the passer. And like I said, he's one of the most technically gifted pass rushers in the entire class. So I really like with the Bills pass rush being kind of all over the place, still having Von Miller, Greg Rousseau, they re-signed AJ Epinenza. I feel like they need to add some more talent later on the board here to hopefully develop into a rotation or someone that could be a starter eventually. And Xavier Thomas has that athletic profile and that technical aspect of his game that I'm looking for here. At number 200, we're going to go ahead and we're going to grab another wide receiver here. Really like who's on the board. At number 200, we're looking at Bub Means, wide receiver out of Pittsburgh, 6'1", 212 pounds, 4.47, 4.48 speed, I want to say. Really, really good athletic profile. This is someone that I feel like is a real steal, someone that's being really slept on in this draft process as someone who's just a deep sleeper, someone that you're going to find on day 3 at some point in day 3 that can contribute right away. So don't forget another player that is on the roster this year that might contribute as well under the radar. Justin Shorter is someone that comes with a really nice athletic profile as well. I'm just trying to, I don't want to crowd this wide receiver room with a bunch of mid, but I feel like Bub Means is a really, really good player, someone who excelled really nicely inside the 20s on offense last year for the Pitt Panthers. And I really would like to get some more quality depth for Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills. So we're going to take Bub Means here at number 200. At number 204, I'm going to go to the cornerback room here. I like, despite Tre'Davious White moving on, getting cut, I should say, and signing with the LA Rams, I do like the depth that the Buffalo Bills carry in their secondary when it comes to the corner position here. But I would like to add to that, Dwight McGlothern is someone who has had a really tumultuous pre-draft process here. He was someone that was in that day 3 range, then kind of shot up a little bit. Then his athletic testing didn't really look to be what it should have been. But at the end of the day, the athletic testing does have an effect on these picks. Of course they do, but I think tape should be the end-all be-all. And what you see with Dwight McGlothern is a ball-hawking corner that does take chances. I think that's the reason why he's ranked so low here. He's really a boomer-bust type of corner. He reminds me a lot of Marcus Peters as someone that's going to make a lot of plays in the NFL, but he's also going to possibly give up a lot of plays in his own right as well. But I'm willing to take the chance with the depth that the Buffalo Bills have. They could develop him into whatever they want him to be. So I'm going to take Dwight McGlothern here at 204. And with our last pick at 248, I'm going to take Walter Rouse out of Oklahoma here, offensive tackle. I feel like Rouse was kind of under the radar the entire season as his bookend tackle on the other side was Tyler Guyton. So obviously, in terms of the All-Star circuit and the pre-draft process, Tyler Guyton is going to get a little bit more of a look. But Walter Rouse has an incredible athletic profile in his own right as well. Love his size, 6'5", 311. I was going to say 6'5", 3'11". 6'5", 311 pounds. Offers some really nice swing tackle appeal right away. And if you can get some swing tackle appeal at this point in the draft, late in the 7th round, that's exactly what I'm looking for here. So Walter Rouse is a high-quality backup with the chance to develop into a little bit more. And just like that, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. There's your full 7-round Buffalo Bills mock draft 2.0 for the 2024 NFL Draft. We made a massive move up. We traded up from 28. We acquired number 9 overall. And at number 9 overall, we took Odunze. At 75, we took Braden Fisk. At 133, we took Kitten Oladapo. At 160, we took Zach Zinter. 163, we took Xavier Thomas. 200, we took Bub Means. 204, we took Dwight McLaughlin. And 248, we took Walter Rouse. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. This is a massive, massive draft for the Buffalo Bills. It's really going to determine where their future, their short-term future goes with Josh Allen at quarterback. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Please leave a like. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't as we get closer and closer to the 2024 NFL Draft. Obviously, content will be rolled out every single day, so you don't want to miss out on that. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Thank you guys so much for watching today. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope I see you in the next one.